Welcome to Let's Talk Cardano, presented by the Cardano Foundation. In each episode, we delve deep into the transformative world of blockchain technology. Join us as we explore how blockchain is reshaping industries from finance to supply chain and talk with some of the key pioneers at the forefront of this revolution. All right here on Let's Talk Cardano. In this episode, Alex Apeldoorn explores the intricacies of enterprise blockchain adoption with Dr. Bernhard Kronfellner, partner and associate director at BCG. During this thought-provoking discussion, the two delve into the challenges and possibilities of bridging traditional business with Web3 innovation.
Bernhard, welcome to the Cardano Foundation Summit. Obviously, we just had a panel discussion around enterprise adoption. What brought you here today? Maybe we could start there.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, first of all. And we had a really great discussion on the panel, with our other three colleagues. What brought me here today is, what I do for a living, basically. I'm a partner at Boston Consulting Group. I was a banker at Boston Consulting Group before, so I consulted for more than a decade the biggest banks in the world, more or less, in Central Europe, in Europe, or also globally. And then because of my personal interest and also because I founded a fintech, I digged into the crypto topic 5-6 years ago. And I kind of pioneered it at BCG at the beginning against a lot of headlines, as you can imagine. So, don't do that. It's money laundering. Don't go there. It's evil. It's evil. Don't do that. But it's also actually helping me at this moment, and come back now to the topic of the interview, because it's really helps me to understand how it is for big companies or for people in big companies to compete against those headlines in their own organization. Yeah. Of course, like within BCG, people are afraid of a new topic, even so we are, on the edge of innovation, as always, as BCG strategists. Yeah? Nevertheless, a new topic, you need to explain this new topic first. So I can really relate to what people are facing in their own companies. Yeah. I can give them advice of how to play this best. It worked out for me as well already. And I know what basically to say to the leaders to help them to understand what the topic is all about. And this is what I do for a living, basically, to bridge, let's say, the old world, the traditional companies where you have the big brands, the big logos, the masses that are following, with the new world, which is Cardano, which is all the crypto folks and digital assets and blockchain folks that we see during all those conferences.
Yeah, I mean, that's super interesting, because I think we probably face the same problems, actually, right? Like you come into an established organization, you talk to the leaders, there's a lot of skepticism, there's a lot of sort of like questions, and as you mentioned, right, like is it money laundering? Is it like, somebody has like access to all my data? What is the thing? So like maybe, from an interesting perspective, like what's the thing that, like you feel are sort of like the biggest touch points that leaders need to hear in order for them to feel more confident in blockchain adoption?
So what I'm always telling people that are afraid of the topic, they might have a wrong understanding of what blockchain is. And then they come up with the analogy and tell them, well, look, it's a storage. It's like you have your USB drive, you have your hard drive, you have your cloud service. People can relate to this because they know this. Yeah. And now we have blockchain, which is a decentralized storage. Yeah. And for some use cases, it's best to have a USB drive. Maybe not anymore. But for other use cases, it's best to have a cloud. And for other use cases, a blockchain makes totally sense. Yeah. So, and then they're like, oh, okay, now I think I get it. So it's not magical. It's not, you don't have to fear about, you don't need to have fears about it. It's not speculation per se. It's just a new way of storing data. Yeah. And then we enter, as BCG, the discussion, how we use this new technology in order to fulfill your target that you have as organization, might be new client, might be more revenues, or whatever it is.
Yeah, the typical KPIs that we all have. Are there other topics? So I mean, just from my own experience, right? Like one of the things is that when they start to warm up to the use of blockchain, there's a lot of questions around, well, do we need to like hold that do we need to hold ADA? Do we need to hold that cryptocurrency? What does that mean for us from a regulatory perspective? Is that a conversation that you have, or?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Especially when crypto organizations are pushing it too far.
Yeah.
That they mention in the meeting, I don't know, I'm just pulling this out, like a DAO, or we could also, what about the tokenomics of this? And then the traditional organization, like, oh my God, what is this? And then they're like a little bit afraid, and then we have to orchestrate this somehow in the middle again. So that's why it's very often what we do as BCG, as man in the middle between both worlds.
Yeah.
We brief both sides beforehand to make sure that both sides are getting the maximum output out of this conversation, out of this collaboration that they do. And I guess, yes, maybe then we have the same situation when you also talk to governments or big corporations as well, then I guess,
Yeah. Like there's a very, because, like especially obviously American organizations, but, also European or African or et cetera nations, like there is a very different sort of like perspective about what is and what isn't acceptable within the organization. You do kind of often feel that the Western world is maybe like a little bit more hesitant to have that essentially on their balance sheet, essentially. So one of the things that you've always had quite a long partnership with VeChain right now. Can you like tell me a little bit about how that emerged? Like what happened there?
Yeah. So VeChain is coming from tracing and tracking as a blockchain, and entered now for 2-3 years back, also including our work that we did already back in the days with them, the sustainability topic. Why VeChain is one of the most sustainable blockchains. They don't even have a proof of stake consensus mechanism. They have a proof of authority, which is kind of a proof of stake, but you are not allowing everyone to join the club. Yeah, and that brings the CO2 emissions per transaction compared to Ethereum, for instance, to a 0.05% per transaction compared to Ethereum. Yeah. It's clear, right? Because they have only 100 nodes roughly, and Ethereum have in the thousands of nodes globally, and this costs, of course, energy. Yeah. So sustainable blockchain coming from tracking and tracing of goods globally, moving now into sustainability. And the main idea behind this, and Sunny Liu is the CEO and also one of we just met him on stage, also very inspirational and in crypto already for 15 years. Yeah, one of the I would even say crypto superstars, although with his thinking. His idea was basically he wanted to change the world and make it a better place. Yeah, so because he owns cryptos already for years, that's why he's not focused on money anymore, but he really wants to make an impact and change. And he figured, well, actually, you as a regulator, you can force corporations or companies to have a more sustainable processes or more sustainable company by law or by regulations. Yeah. But what you cannot do as a government is to force individuals. You cannot say, when you go to Starbucks next time, bring your own mug, and don't take this plastic mug. Or when you go next time to Walmart, go by foot and not by car. Yeah? So, I mean, because these are individuals, right? I mean, But what crypto is good for is for incentivization. So you could use crypto and tokens to incentivize sustainable behavior. Yeah. And for me, I mean, I'm also in crypto for a while. The idea was brilliant. So I was like, okay, well, let's work this out. Let's make a concept out of this. Let's try to boost this. Let's try to bring this to the masses, because it's really a product that you can use as every individual around the world. And again, an easy example, and this is the most successful dApp in the ecosystem now, and it just started 3 months ago. Yeah? Oh wow! Yeah. The most and we have almost 1 million users already within 3 months. It's working out great. It's called Mugshot. So you go to Starbucks. The app, if you give consent, knows that you are at Starbucks because of the GPS data. Yeah. Such that you cannot fake it then. And then you bring your own mug. That's why we call the app Mugshot, because then you get your coffee in your own mug. You take a picture, you upload this, the AI understands, yes, this is your own mug. Yes, you are at Starbucks, and you get tokens.
That's
as a
brilliant.
reward. Yeah. And you can use those tokens somewhere else in other apps.
Oh, okay.
Get 5% here, or there's an app store as well, and a store as well, where you can, buy some cases of iPhones and stuff. Yeah? So you can buy something with it, and you can even off-ramp those tokens that you get.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's really an amazing idea, and this is the topic we are pushing together with VeChain into the world, I would even say, to the big brands, talking to a lot of big enterprises here to make it even bigger. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, I can imagine that a lot of brands, obviously, sustainability goals are more and more prevalent nowadays. So obviously, like a lot of brands are probably springing on the bandwagon to join this app. It's called Mugshot right now. Are you planning on broadening it to non-mug related topics?
Totally. We have now more than 10 apps in the VeChain app store.
Okay.
But same topic. You need to perform a sustainable action, and then you get rewarded. Another app is Green Card. You go to the grocery store. You buy sustainable food. Okay. Or be it vegan or be it or healthy food. If you buy candy, then it's not good. If you buy sustainable and healthy food, then you also get rewarded. How does it work? You just make a photo of your receipt. The AI basically screens what you bought. Yeah. And then depending on what you buy, you get some. It's called better, the token, and then you get some points.
Okay, nice.
Or EV you drive EV Earn. It's called EV Earn. You drive your EV.
Oh, yeah.
And by charging it, it's more sustainable than driving a traditional car. So then you also get rewards. Yeah. So basically, incentivizing people along the day to take sustainable decisions. Yeah. Go somewhere. Yep. By foot and not by car. Bring your own mug. Work out, and so on and so on.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, this almost sounds like a multi-sided marketplace essentially, because you mentioned that there's a number of apps. Or is there a plan to sort of merge that into one to do a super sustainable app?
There's one VeChain app, and within the VeChain app, you have sub apps, so to say, that you can use them.
Ah, okay. Brilliant.
So on my phone, I have one app, and then I click in, and then I have multiple apps there in the ecosystem.
That's amazing.
Because they have also, of course, their own wallet. The usual stuff that you have.
Of course. Yeah. Okay, so is there currently any conversation about VeChain and Cardano working together? Are there sort of any ideas around that?
I mean, we as PCG, we also know Cardano quite well. Not yet, but looking forward to collaborate. I mean, it's for the sake of the planet, I would even say, to bring people to a more sustainable life. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I think, was it 2020, I think there was obviously this, let's call it a big scandal when people figured out that, the Bitcoins and the Ethereum of the world were burning energy essentially. And as Cardano, we saw a massive influx of interest because obviously proof of stake protocols are significantly more energy efficient than others. Yeah. Have you seen that is something that maybe, is that something that your clients talk about or?
Definitely, and this is one of the misunderstandings that a lot of people that are not in the crypto world, so from the traditional world, might still have. That every blockchain needs a lot of energy for the transactions. I mean, as we discussed before, yes, you still need some nodes to verify it. And also proof of stake needs, but compared to of course traditional mining, it's much less. On the other hand, the Bitcoin maximalists always argue, also for good reasons, yes, we need energy, but this energy is free anyway because we sit right next to the certain facility, or we sit in Iceland where it's cold and where it's free energy. So, but still, it costs some energy.
But especially now with the advent of AI, energy is a very big topic right now.
Of course, for good reasons.
for good reasons, yeah, exactly. I think obviously there's power plants being opened all over the place to sustain these large language models, and obviously with the use of blockchain on top of that, there's more and more interest in green energy. Essentially, one of the interesting regulations that has come out on the topic. Are you familiar with MiCAR?
Of course.
What is your view on the topic?
Being a European, I'm proud to have MiCAR.
Yeah.
There is still something that is missing, be it DeFi, be it DAOs. NFTs are in there, but not completely. So there's still room for MiCAR too, I would say.
Okay. Yeah.
Somewhere, in a couple of years. But for now, we can be very proud because globally we have a very, let's say, customer protective regulation where you find everything in the regulation because a lot of countries are using a principle-based regulation, which also has its advantages.
Yeah.
It both has its pros and cons. So rule-based and then principle-based regulation has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
But the European regulation is definitely where a lot of regulators are looking at the moment. Still can decide want to have a similar regulation or more principle-based one, but it's definitely a milestone, I would say, in regulating the crypto space.
Yeah,
and it's totally helping the topic. Yeah, I have so many discussions with even layer ones or crypto companies. Hey, since we have a good regulation now in Europe and a harmonized regulation in particular, let's go to Europe. It seems to be a very good place. We have legal certainty. That is not changing over the next years. And this is what attracts a lot of people compared to the US. I mean, now we are right in front of an election. Let's see who wins. I guess no matter who wins, there will be more certainty in crypto in the future in both cases. Yeah? But still at the moment, a lot of companies are fearing a little bit away from or shying away from US because of this lack of regulatory certainty that we now have in Europe, but also here in Dubai or in other countries.
Yeah. I think for years we've been talking about the need for regulatory certainty, and I do. Yeah, as a proud European, I completely agree. There's this very interesting and very succinct regulation that is coming up that is like almost there to sort of like support the path of crypto going forward. And yeah, like I love that. It's really interesting. I know that we spoke about this a little bit at the panel as well, but what kind of regulation do you maybe see coming out of this one or out of the European Union perhaps that would maybe inform the next phases of crypto adoption?
I mean, all regulations are good for blockchain adoption because then because one step back for mass adoption, the big word in crypto at the moment. So for mass adoption, you need big companies, big brands, big logos. Yeah. Of course, we can play around here at conferences, in the Web3 community, in our ecosystem. Of course, but these are just a certain fraction of the population. Be it 0.5%, be it 1%, 2%, whatever it is. These are digital lovers. I would even belong to them as well. I am a nerd. I love my clunky, no user experience apps where I can play around with. Again, a certain part of population. In order to get the 97, 98, 99% of the people, you need to have a great user experience. You need to have a logo or a brand that is pulling the people into a certain topic. Yeah. Luxury brands, cars, whatever it is. So people that can relate to those brands, and then they're following. Okay, so you need to have big brands, big companies for mass adoption. In order to get these big brands and big companies, they are never ever, and I would as consultant also never advise them to do so, go in an area where it's still a gray zone or gray area or where is legal uncertainty. Yeah. Because, then the downside risk is much, much higher than the upside that they might get from this. So that's why a lot of companies either started a little bit early, nevertheless behind the curtains, with pilots, with educating them in this area, with even building a platform that is then ready when the regulation is out, and staying, a little bit away from those topics and wait until the regulation is out. Yeah. So coming back to your question, yes, regulation helps for mass adoption because it allows the big companies to go there. Yeah. So that's why Europe is a good solid regulation. Also other countries with solid regulation is a good region for companies to start with.
Yeah, I think it's particularly interesting because I think, one of the more sort of like prevalent ways of dealing with larger organizations has typically been to essentially deal with the R&D department, play behind the scenes and get a bit of a feeling of what crypto can do or what blockchain can do and like how it can help the organization. It feels like the next 5 years might actually be, okay, let's take this out of R&D and actually move this into production. Is this something that you're seeing as well?
Yeah. And this is exactly the conversation we have with big companies.
Yeah.
Because to play a little bit around with some pilots, fine. Sometimes it's good enough for the shareholder meetings to say, yes, we're innovative. We have X, Y, Z. We do blockchain. Yes, but actually 3 people are playing around a little bit in the basement without going live. In order to build meaningful use cases that generates more revenues, and this is about what companies want to see, of course, you need to go out. It needs to be scalable. It needs to be out there with their client base that they have. So what we do as Boston Consulting very often is we try to find the ROI for a use case. So what are you really getting out of your investment? And do you get this out next year, next month, in 5 years? What are the risks behind there? So cash flow at risk, so to say. And is it worth to go there? And to be honest, sometimes companies come to us, ask us, okay, we want to do this particular Web3 use case. And we sometimes even tell them as good consultants, we did the math. We don't believe that this is a good use case. Don't go there.
Okay.
So, we want to have follow-up project with them. So if we sell them now, do it, and it's not working out, then they're probably going to McKinsey in the next round. So we really have to be good consultants here, good advisors. And sometimes a no is the best advice you have to give. If it's a yes, then we can discuss in the second step, yes, but how? And then it's more a question of how to do it. But again, first question, what is the ROI of this particular use case, of this particular Web3 idea for you in this situation? It could be a yes for one company and a no for another company, depending on the client base, depending on their balance sheet, on the structure, on the appetite for innovation, whatever it is.
Well, I think that's actually like a good evolution, right? Like, because when we're talking about, pilot projects and like R&D projects, they're relatively small things and it's a lot of learnings that you can create from that. But when we're talking to organizations about ROI, what does it bring to you in your organization? It becomes much more, it becomes much more tangible, but also it becomes much more sort of like that is something that we really want to achieve, right? This is not let's play around with some tokens. This is a no. This is like important for our organization. This is important for our innovation, because if we do this, then we get X amount of ROI, and that's what any company essentially wants to have. So maybe more like a bit of a visionary question here. We've been talking a little bit sort of like about the medium to long term course of blockchain. Where do you see crypto going or blockchain going?
It will be less magical, and as people are perceiving it at the moment, because it feels like either you're crypto or you're non-crypto. So I see crypto in the future, or blockchain digital assets in the future, that everyone will have a digital asset in a digital wallet, and most of the people are not knowing that they even have a wallet on their phone, or that they have actually a digital asset. Be it in the future the digital euro, be it that they have a ticket for the next football event, be it that they might have bought a tokenized part of the building where they live in order to invest. So tokenized real estate. Be it that they might have a stable coin with what they still have from the vacation when they were somewhere in the world. So various different use cases. People are using it in combination with social media, in combination with what they do anyway throughout the day, like what VeChain is doing. You live your normal life and then you get some points. Like we are collecting the miles when you fly around, or the hotel points and so on. Then you have some points when you perform some sustainable actions. So everyone will use it without even knowing that they're using it.
Yeah. I mean, it's very interesting, right? Because like on average, a consumer has like 45 apps on their phone. Nobody knows what the back end of that app looks like. If that app has like a wallet in the back of it, and like you have the pure access to it, and you can use it and spend it in ways that you like. I mean, it becomes familiar usability, right? Like the same way that we are using flight points to book our next holiday vacation. Like those types of things are part of the norm, and you will probably see that there'll be more and more adoption, and then it does sound like the retail direction is a big one.
Yeah, and it's also clear, right? I mean, at the beginning you have the IT guys, the technology guys that starts with a certain topic, and then comes, let's say, the business guys that build on this topic. Yeah. Their use cases. I remember a funny story. I was checking my curriculum at university lately, and I found that I had a class 15, 20 years back when I was at university. It was called Internet. And then my girlfriend was teasing me, okay, you're that old that you have an internet class. And then actually I was thinking about, now I was telling her, well, you have your blockchain class now. It's the same story. It's exactly the same story. Now people are using the internet for Instagram, for social media in general, or for buying a ticket somewhere, whatever it is. Everyone is using it. But no one cares about the technology behind, the internet behind. Same will be the case then for blockchain. Now it's in the curriculums of various universities. Blockchain classes and digital assets. Give it 5 years from now. Give it 10 years from now. Other girlfriends will tease then, the people that have blockchain classes. Then
you have to be taught how to use the blockchain. That's so archaic.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. God, yeah. I actually had those classes as well, so I totally
understand.
Yeah, exactly. God, that I think we had to talk about .max printers. I don't think anybody nowadays even knows what the hell that is anymore. Floppies, CDs.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're laughing about it now, but it's definitely a thing that the technological evolution is going so fast that these things just come and go, and we become so accustomed to adopting these new things into our day-to-day life that it will probably be an explosive growth as soon as it happens, and then it'd just be a whirlwind of blockchains everywhere, essentially. Yeah. Is there anything you might want to still mention or say or whatever?
Again, I'd like to offer the reach out from Cardano to VeChain, actually. Happy to be in a minute. No, but multi-chain is definitely something that various apps are going at the moment for various good reasons. So this is definitely something where VeChain and BCG, Cardano, and also other chains can work together, especially when it's about a certain narrative like sustainability in this case, also other cases. So it's to merge some ecosystems for the both benefits. I really see that this will happen more and more in the future, especially when it comes to attracting the big companies.
No, I completely agree. I think that each blockchain has sort of its own design principles and its own sort of use cases that they are trying to solve for. And I think by combining intelligence and knowledge and features and capabilities, we're able to solve for new and more interesting use cases and business cases that will hopefully generate more ROI for the end user. So I completely agree. Thank you so much for your time and being here with us. I hope there's lots of interesting things still here to see for you. And let's grab a beer later.
Definitely.
Thank you for joining us on Let's Talk Cardano. for more insights and deep dives into the world of blockchain. Don't forget to subscribe and reach us at cardanofoundation.org, where you'll find extra resources and content on all things blockchain. Leave us a review wherever you enjoy podcasts. Follow us on social media and stay tuned for more coming soon.